Yo, it's good everyone. This is AEO Boxing from Adiba, and we're here to talk about if Jared Anderson can recover. So as we all know, Marlon Bakole stopped Jared Anderson in the 5th round this past Saturday in devastating fashion. It was a highlight reel knockout and definitely the best performance on that card by far. And to most American fans, it was a shocking upset, mainly because Jared is a number 1 American heavyweight and Bakole was unknown to most American fans. And to be honest, this was my first time really watching Bakole fight. I didn't know too much about him other than beating Carlos Takam and Tony Yoka, and for that reason, I expected him to beat Jared due to having a better resume and more experience. But I was hoping that Jared would win, so it's kinda sad to see a fellow American lose in such a punishing way. However, as an African, I'm happy that my Congolese brother got the biggest win of his career and the recognition he deserves. Because apparently, Bakole has sparred all the top heavyweights and gave them really good work, which is why he's been ducked and avoided. And I see why. This man fights like George Foreman. He has effortless power in the way he throws his punches, along with his speed and accuracy, which makes him a scary opponent. He dropped Jared 3 times, and each of those times were due to some crazy combinations. But this was a devastating defeat for Jared. He got his O taken away on the biggest stage, and now you have people calling him a hype job, exposed, and so on and so on. The question is now, will Jared Anderson ever be the same? Well, I'm not sure, but let's explore. Despite getting stopped and dropped 3 times, Jared didn't receive a career-changing type of beating. He for sure took a lot of big punches, but the referee stopped the fight before he took some serious damage. Furthermore, he was coherent after getting stopped. He immediately screamed "fuck" once the ref waved the fight off, and he was talking fine in a post-fight interview. He was very respectful and humble in defeat, and I give him credit for that, especially since he got up every time he was dropped and he kept on fighting. But the biggest thing to me is that he recognized where he messed up and what went wrong. He stated that he was making the same mistakes like usual, like pulling straight back, not listening to his corner, keeping his head on the line, and opening up too much. These are all things that we saw in the Charles Martin fight, a fight which Jared Anderson got hurt and had a tough fight for him. A fight where Jared Anderson got hurt and had a tough fight. I expected Jared to improve from that outing, but as shown in the Bakole fight, nothing really changed and he paid dearly for it. At least Jared knows what went wrong and can fix the issue. So from a physical perspective, I'm not too worried about Jared. However, what concerns me the most is his mental state. Jared Anderson on several occasions stated that he's not really into boxing. He's not 100% in it. He sees boxing more as a job rather than a passion. Jared even said, quote, "I don't feel like I have to be a world champion," end quote. That's a shocking statement, especially coming from someone who a lot of people picked as the next great American heavyweight. This is drastically different than his stablemates like Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis, guys who live and breathe boxing, guys who want to be champions, and guys who want to be considered the best and legends. This may explain why he's been getting into so much trouble and making poor decisions outside of boxing. It also may explain why he hasn't improved that much since the Charles Martin fight. And all of this happened when he was undefeated. So taking a loss in the fashion that he did could have a huge impact on his outlook on boxing. The worst thing that could happen is for him to lose confidence, especially if he doesn't like boxing. If he's scared to let his hands go and fear of getting hit, then there's no way he can fight as a heavyweight and be successful. Matter of fact, the worst thing is if he stops boxing. Staying in the gym keeps a lot of guys out of trouble and away from their vices, but once they stop, they can crash out, and that's the last thing I want to see. However, the opposite can happen. This loss can light a fire under Jared. People often learn from their losses and grow from them. The best example is Daniel Dubois. Like Jared, Dubois is a young heavyweight who took a brutal loss in his first step up against Joe Joyce. People would then question his heart and mentality as they saw him as a quitter and weak. Dubois would then take another loss to Alexander Usyk, which then led to more questions about his mentality. People began to write him off, but he would then make a huge comeback and stop Jarrell Miller and then stop Filip Hrgovic. Both of them were upset wins. Now he's fighting for the IBF title against Anthony Joshua next month. Dubois learned from his losses and became a better fighter. Jared can follow the same footsteps. American fans have to remember that taking a loss is not the end of the world. Shit, even Bakole took a loss and was able to bounce back. Jared has a lot of potential. He has underlying talent, skills, and athleticism to be a great heavyweight. He just needs to work and improve. The best thing to do for him is to return to the ring as soon as possible, maybe get 1 or 2 light touches to build his confidence and work on his skills. By next year, the heavyweight division should open up, as I expect for some of the belts to be vacated, so Jared can get back into the mix and face the top contenders late 2025. As for Martin Bakole, he's in a great position. Turki Al-Sheikh likes him, so getting fights against prominent names in the heavyweight division shouldn't be a difficult thing like before. He stated that he wants to rematch Michael Hunter, which is understandable because Hunter beat him, but I think there are better options for Bakole. His team should urge him to fight one of the top contenders at heavyweight. Joseph Parker and Zhilei Zhang are the best fights in my opinion. Beating either one of those guys will propel him into title contention for sure. I think the Zhang fight is the better out of the two. Not only would it be an exciting fight, but I believe he could beat and stop Zhang. Zhang is 40 years old while Bakole is 31. Zhang is not getting younger, so catching him now would be the best thing to do. And beating him would be a huge statement as Zhang is seen as the most dangerous in the division. That will make Bakole an African superstar, which is something that boxing has been missing. But you cannot count out Big Bang Zhang. Maybe we see this fight in the fall or winter. But who knows, this is boxing, anything can happen. But thank you for tuning in with AEO Boxing from Madiba. Like, subscribe, and more content is coming your way.